So go ahead and get started. All right, now
Mhm.
on the GrayMan podcast, we're going ahead and let my guest introduce himself. I don't give the names because I don't know what anyone wants to call themselves based off of like operation security or whatever they got going on. So man, just go ahead and floor is yours, brother. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from. Go ahead, shoot.
Well, I'm Chief Jackson, ABH type, U.S. Navy. Originally from Houston, Texas. Currently stationed on the USS Wansu, stationed based out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay, okay. So where you say you from Houston? Is that where that's where you from? Like you spent most of your life there?
That's hometown right there.
Okay,
Hometown, born and raised.
okay. What was your childhood like, bro?
Uh, I say my childhood was pretty interesting. Pretty
Okay,
interesting. I can say for two brothers,
okay,
sister. Mom, dad. I grew up on Northeast Houston, where it's kind of Northeast Houston, not the best side of Houston, I would tell you that. So, like for a lot of tourists that like to visit Houston, they definitely don't go to the Northeast side. So,
okay.
uh, it
Duly
was
noted.
kind of rough. Yeah, it was kind of rough, exciting, but at the end of the day, I think you learn a lot from that.
Okay, yep,
So
yep. Build some character. I
I
can dig
like
it.
it.
Yep,
Oh
yep.
yeah.
So what was you like as a child?
I say myself, I was kind of like I was kind of the child that learned from everybody else's mistake.
Okay,
My
okay,
dad, my dad used to always tell me, man, like it's two people in the world: those that listen and learn, and those that learn the hard way. So my brothers, man, they stayed in trouble so much. You know, uh, I couldn't help but do something different. Like when I joined the Navy, they both was in prison.
man. Okay, yeah, yeah.
So
Different direction in life. I can dig it.
yeah, different direction. I said they got in enough trouble for me, so I ain't have to go that road.
Okay, so we know you got multiple siblings. Like where you fall at in that? Like you the oldest, the youngest, the middle. What's up?
I'm the baby boy, but got a younger sister.
Okay, I can dig it. What you got? You say two older ones, right?
Yeah, two older ones.
Okay, okay, so four altogether. I can dig it. I'm from a big family
Mhm.
myself, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm the oldest. There was five of us, and I'm the oldest. One of my brothers, though, unfortunately, he passed away when I was 16. He was in the middle, but there would have been four boys and a girl, so it's five of us. Crazy.
Okay.
So you say you enlisted, man. What made you? When did you enlist? Let's start with that.
So I enlisted in it was July 2002. Man, that was a long time ago when I said
Man,
in
it's funny.
2002. So
I originally enlisted in 2002 too, man.
oh yeah.
Mine was June 2002. And I didn't ship
Okay,
out.
look
I didn't
at
ship
right
out until
after, right
September.
behind you.
Yeah, I didn't ship out
Right
until
behind you.
September. Yep. That's
Yeah,
what's up,
right
man.
behind you, man.
That's what's up.
I love it though. I wouldn't change it if I had to do it over. So I love
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, no doubt. So, what do you remember about the day you enlisted?
I'll say the day I enlisted, I still remember I was at work. I was working at Home Depot at the time.
Hmm.
And that's where actually met the Navy recruiter at. And he was just kind of like talking to me about the Navy and have I thought about, kind of doing something different. I was covered in concrete at the time, man, because I worked with the Pro Sales and Pro Loader.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was covered in concrete. I'm like, no, I never really thought about the Navy, which was crazy because my older brother was in NJROTC.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I used to make fun of him all the time. He used to be
Yeah,
signing his boots, signing his belt buckle. And
yeah,
I used
yeah.
to make fun of him all the time. But I'm like, nah, man, I never thought about enlisting. So I told him I would come check him out. Went down to the maps, kind of gave me the rundown of what the Navy, how can it benefit me, and
Hmm.
and see if it's something that I was interested in. And I was like, I had been out of high school then for a year already, so I
Okay.
was working for a year. So I'm like, I tried. I didn't want to go to college right off the back because my pops passed away when I was in a junior in high school.
Hmm.
So I didn't want to leave my mom like right off the back, because
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was
no
still
doubt.
going up over 9 yards. So I'm like, So now, like I told you, both of my brothers was in prison.
Hmm.
I was like, why not? Why not? Let me try something different. And my mom, and she was the one that really pushed me, like, no, you need to go. You know how it is. She's like, no, you
Yeah,
need to
yeah, yeah.
go. You need to just get out of the city. Try something different. Maybe you'll like it.
So basically, like the reason why you joined for real was because your mom's kind of pushed you into doing that,
Yeah, she's kind of pushing me to
changing your
just go
life,
a
I should
different
say.
direction.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right, right.
So when you actually did enlist, what did you tell your
Mhm.
family about? How did you tell your family you enlisted? Like, how'd that go? What was that conversation like?
So I told him I was gonna go to the Navy. My whole family, I kid you not, my whole family was like, "Yeah, man, you're not gonna last in the Navy, man. You'll probably make it through an enlistment, or because I had a
Yeah,
bad attitude. So they're probably, yeah, they's
me
like, yeah,
too.
you'll probably make it through it. Yeah, I had a bad attitude. Like I tell everybody, my first year was my worst year in the Navy. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah,
making that transition.
the
That
adjustment.
transition was
Yep,
rough.
man,
you know?
I'm hit.
So, but no, they was like, they kind of took it good.
Mm,
Cause my family close. I got a big family down there in Houston, so nobody wanted to see me leave.
yeah,
But
yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time, they were still happy for me. That I was kind of doing something different.
Okay.
Cause I'm second generation Navy. My father was Navy.
Okay, that's what's up, man. And my dad used to always push us to go to the Navy, right? So when I actually enlisted, I went to the Army, and man, he was a little bit disappointed. And you know what's funny? And so I went to the Army, and all my brothers they went to the Army. So it was one of them things it was funny. Like they said, whatever I would have done,
Change
my
it up,
brothers would have done it
right?
too.
You
You know what I'm
change it
saying?
up.
So yeah, so it's like I led him in that direction. And my dad used to always give me stuff about it, man, before he passed away. May he rest in peace, man. But he was
Oh
definitely
man,
a proud father that his sons went and joined the service, man. So
no, that's good.
basically,
That's
man.
good.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, man. So like when you went to basic training, where did you go to basic training at?
So it was down at Great Lakes, RDC Great Lakes.
Okay.
So that's pretty much basic training still out there in Great Lakes.
Okay.
But I actually so luckily for me, I got to go down there in the summertime because I got the basic training in July.
Oh,
So
okay. So you actually shipped out in
you hear
July.
all the horror stories. Right. So I went to basic training in July as well. So it was
Was it the
actually
same
good.
month or was you
It
like
was
an
later.
expedited?
So it was later that month. So I was out like
Oh,
3 weeks
wow.
later. So I went towards the end of the month.
Wow,
Um,
man. Did you have like a bonus attached to your sign on or your
I
enlistment
did. So
for
my
shipping so quick?
enlistment, yeah, so my enlistment bonus they did. So it was like a 0.5
Hmm.
enlistment bonus was. So it wasn't bad. Wasn't a whole lot of money, but
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
at that time, the recruiting numbers were low. So
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yep.
you didn't have like that 3 month wait, that 4 month wait. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you enlisted, you was pretty much fast tracked.
And for what the listeners don't realize too, because you 2002, I'm 2002. The spirit of people, like, it was right after 9/11. Everybody wanted to go get a piece of Osama bin Laden, man. You know what I'm saying? So
Telling you.
so yeah, yeah, I definitely remember what you're talking about. How long was your basic training, bro?
6 weeks.
Six
Yeah, it
weeks?
was
Okay.
roughly six. Yeah, it was roughly 6 weeks. It's been so long ago. It's so long ago, man. But
Yeah, yeah,
but it
yeah.
was 6 weeks. But a lot of people, you hear a lot of horror stories about basic training. But I'm one of the ones that is crazy about basic training because my chief in basic training, he was from Houston.
Word?
So he was from Houston.
This
And
is just,
luckily,
man, you just
luckily
went back
me, right?
home.
Oh man, he was from Houston.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we had a connection. So I ain't gonna say I got favors or special
Nah,
treatment,
I can
but it
dig it. I,
wasn't as
I, I
hard on
understand.
me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it
Nah, I understand. Yep. Yeah, I understand. So that's
wasn't
what's
as hard on me as everybody else, so it was good.
yeah, that's what's up, man. So your MOS. What's your MOS? If that's what we call it in the Army, I
So
don't know
right
what
now,
y'all call it.
that's kind of almost the same thing, but we call it like
Okay.
a race. So my
Okay.
race, I'm aviation bosun mate. Bosun mate handling because you got different parts of the aviation rating when it comes to flight deck of a carrier or amphibious assault ship. So like right now, I'm stationed on an amphibious assault ship where majority of the crew is Marines.
Oh wow, okay.
Right, right. Because it's roughly, I say about when you start talking about embarked Navy, it's
Yeah, yeah.
roughly about maybe 1,000 of us. But when the Marines come on board, it's about 2,500 of them. So
Wow.
they double us in numbers. So it's exciting. It's exciting because I started off on aircraft carriers,
Yeah.
and but when I transitioned and started doing amphibious assault ships, I never went back to an aircraft carrier, right? So I love the assault ships. I love being stationed with the Marines. It brings a different aspect to it.
Hmm.
It's just it's a better culture, better vibe, everything. So a lot of I
Yeah,
mean,
that's so.
if you ask two or three different people on amphibious assault ships the same question, you'll probably get two or three different answers.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Okay.
me personally, I
Yeah.
love being stationed with the Marines. But I'm flight deck. I do a launch and recovery, crash and salvage, the firefighting side of the house, while responding to any aircraft emergency.
Hmm.
We launch all the raids, recover all the aircraft. Um, Rather it's parking them, rather the refueling evolutions for the aircraft,
Hmm.
taking them down, letting them get their maintenance done, the whole 9 yards, man. So we pretty much the Gondas mates of the flight deck, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah, no doubt. Man, all this Navy talk is exciting to me, man. I'm I'm an Army man, soldier. You know what I mean? And
Right,
so I know I don't have any experience with boats and ships and stuff like that, man. And working it because that's how we met when I lived in Virginia.
right,
Working
right.
with former sailors and all that when I was at the sheriff's office, man, them dudes used to tell me some crazy stories, man. And I just sit there and soak it up. You know what I'm saying? Just sit there like, wow, that's sweet. And plus being around all them big boats, like when I'm going on the HRBT and all that, I seen a submarine actually coming in and you guys standing at
Mhm.
parade rest on the top of it. I was like blown away as I'm going down into the tunnel. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm watching like, wow, that's awesome, man. So getting back on topic though, man. So talking about your rating, and you kind of went into detail and explained that. Where did you go to school for that? My
So
bad.
it's down in Florida. So our school. So I was actually, when I came in, I was undesignated.
Okay.
So I was undesignated when I first came in. So my first 3 years, which a lot of people don't know, I worked with the Gunners mates.
Okay.
So I did Mount Captain. We did all of the armory. I did all of the gun shoots, line coaching, like
Yeah.
getting everybody qualified and stuff to shoot. So that's what I did my first 3 years in the Navy.
Man, that's what's up,
Before
bro.
I actually, yeah, because before I actually converted and went, ABH is what my MOS is, and doing launch and recovery and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I I wanted to stay Gunners Mate as a matter of fact, but they merged with the Torpedoes Mates and it closed the rate for anybody trying to strike into that community. So it kind of forced me out, and I had to just go ahead and all right, this is what it is now. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I came in, I was unrated. So my A school was down in Pensacola. What's crazy
Oh, wow.
about it,
Okay.
Pensacola had just got hit by a hurricane. And so they fast tracked everything, man. So I was out of Pensacola roughly. The school was scheduled for 6 weeks. I think we was down there for like 2, maybe 3 weeks. Then they sent us right out to the fleet.
Man, that's what's up,
So
bro. That sounds pretty exciting, man.
it
So,
was, it was, it was.
so without getting into like any type of detail, let's talk
Mhm.
deployments, right? So, where did you go?
Okay.
Because I know you're still active, so I don't want to give up too much information. But where have you been, bro, on your deployments?
So unfortunately for me, I know a lot of people they get the luxury deployment sometimes, but
Hmm.
all my deployments has been combat. So I doing Iraqi freedom.
Hmm.
Uh, that was one on one. So I got 6 deployments right now. Currently about to go on my seventh deployment here soon,
Yeah, yeah,
and they all been in the Middle East.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they all been in the Middle East.
I just been throwing you right in the fire,
I
huh? I
mean,
mean, you've
but
been working with the
I love
Marines,
it. I
so
love it.
yeah,
I
yeah, no
love it though. I
doubt.
love being out. I hate being tied to the pier. I
Yeah,
love being operational. So if throwing us into the fire is what it takes for us to be operational, that's everything makes sense to me out there.
man, it's nothing for a brother from Northeast Houston, right?
Hey, everything makes sense to me. I love it out there, man. I
No
love it.
doubt, man. So, all right, 6 deployments. collectively, how long have you spent overseas, bro?
Collectively, I would
Hmm.
say my first deployment being the longest one, which we was out there roughly right at about 9 months,
Oh, wow.
and then
Okay.
each I had two that was 6 months long, and then I had two that was 7 months long.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So
Mhm.
wow, that's a significant amount of time. Um,
It is.
so being away from your family and friends like that for so long, how do you stay in touch with your family when you're overseas like that, especially on a boat or ship, whatever y'all call
Man,
it?
I tell you what, and I'm gonna say this because I'm weird like this, right?
Okay.
I'm one of the ones I don't like staying in touch with my family when I'm deployed. It's
Word.
kind of
Word.
like, especially when my kids, they
Hmm.
get into they get into a groove where they used to operating without me,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then once they talk to me, they go into this thing where they get this shutdown feel, and then they right back where we started at when I left the
Yeah.
pier maybe 3, 4 months ago. So I
Just be
think
a little emotionally
once they get to
detached.
operate,
Yeah.
right? If I don't get an email or something like that and saying that, hey, they having a rough time and
Hmm.
they need to talk to you, or if I don't get that email, I prefer it for them to just continue as they going, and they good, and me focus on what I got going on at sea.
So can you describe, since you've been out, you're out at sea, you're doing your job, can you describe what it felt like coming back home from being overseas for so long? Just for the people out there
Weird.
that may not understand. Yeah.
It's weird. I tell you what, especially transitioning back to coming back and getting back into the head of household feel.
Hmm.
It's rough. It's rough. And then I remember my first deployment when I got back. My daughter, she was when I left, she was a newborn. When I came back, she was still a toddler, but I
Yeah.
tried to grab her just to, and she kind of gave me one of those looks like, who is this
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So
Stranger danger, no
that,
doubt.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But that was, I mean, eventually she warmed up to me, but that was rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
rough, and a lot of people really don't understand that transition of coming back home, just being integrated with the family again.
Hmm.
It's rough because your wife is used to handling everything, used to operating without you,
Hmm.
and different things that's been moving a certain way. Now you want it to move different because you back,
Yeah. Yeah. No
and
doubt.
but you got to ease into it,
Hmm.
and that transition alone is pretty rough, even with the kids, because the kids got used to moving a certain way
Yeah.
without you, and
Yeah.
now you gotta make that transition. So a lot of the workshops and stuff that the Navy, or for any branch like feeding family, offense, stuff like that, a lot of time it get taken for granted.
Hmm.
And people think they got it all figured out, but a lot of those things really do help.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
use any of the programs like from the USO or anything like that to help you get back into it? Or do you
I
kind of
did
just
feeding family. They got all kind of workshops you can go and attend, and
okay?
it kind of help you know how to just kind of ease back into it. Because if you come in there, because you're wired a certain way when you deploy it. As a matter of fact, you on edge.
Hmm.
You know, you always alert. Every
Sure did.
small thing it really get to you.
Yeah. Yeah. No
And
doubt.
once you move like that for so long, and then you come back and everything's so slow, it just don't make
Decompress.
sense to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. The decompression is different. Yeah. I understand
It
for
just
sure.
don't make sense to me. Yeah, it's almost frustrating. It's almost to the point to where you don't even want to come home. Sometimes it's like
No
it just
doubt.
don't really. It's just so slow.
Yeah. 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 The disconnect. And
Right.
excuse me, and it just basically, man, trying to trying to trying to move from like you talking about the disconnect, the different pace, just trying to make sure that you don't do anything that would alert anybody like your
Hmm.
behaviors, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I understand what you're saying. Now, while on deployment and you out there, bro, what are some of the fun things that you've done on deployment, like with some of the guys, whatever, like
I would
maybe in
say
country, when you dock somewhere or something. I don't know
Definitely
what I
Dubai.
don't know what y'all do on the boats,
I
man.
tell you what, like far as so if you on an aircraft carrier,
Hmm.
so a lot of times on an aircraft carrier, they don't hit as many ports as maybe your smaller ships because of the size of the ship.
Sure do, yeah.
Right. So
Makes sense.
but but a lot of the ports over there, you know, my favorite port I would say was Dubai.
Okay.
Dubai was my favorite port. Um, Europe, I love Europe, but Europe is so expensive with the
Hmm.
euros.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Them euros is so. Yes, Europe is beautiful, but going out there to just have a good time and spending money,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely not the best, but definitely a sight to see.
Hmm.
I've been to Portugal. I've been to Israel. Um, I've been to Jerusalem.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, So a lot, but Dubai hands down was my favorite port, and I would say probably Greece, close number two.
Well, like Santorini and all that.
Right. So
Okay.
we normally we'll get off the ship, go sightsee. I'm one of the ones that love to go, see,
Hmm.
what the country have to offer and go
Definitely.
see different things, see the monuments, and then we'll probably go party a little bit after that,
Yeah, yeah. No
but.
doubt, no doubt.
Well, I would tell you what though, my first deployment wasn't like that because I was a young sailor then,
Yeah,
and once you get off the ship, you want to party, party, party.
yeah, yeah.
And then when you look back at it, man, you be like, man, I ain't see nothing. They be like,
Yeah,
what did Dubai look like? I'm like, I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Just gotta collect them pictures while you're out there.
All right, like I don't know whether it was beautiful, I guess, but I really didn't see all. And then when you look back and see, because the tree of life is in Bahrain and all that stuff, man. But my
Yeah, no
first
doubt.
deployment, I completely missed it.
Oh wow, okay.
I completely missed it, and then they was like, "Us," anybody?" I'm like, "It is." So I'm like, "What?" And then I made it a point that next time I go back and I hit these ports, I really have to go see this stuff and not
Hmm.
just want to party.
Yeah.
So it got better after that.
So, what would you say have you learned about yourself throughout your military career?
I would say coming through the ranks, definitely.
Hmm.
It you have no choice but to develop.
Hmm.
Especially when you have younger sailors in your care. You have to carry yourself a certain way.
Hmm.
Far as myself, that patience, and I think the biggest thing I learned about myself is I've always had a problem on downplaying people problems,
Okay.
especially if it's not because my upbringing and the way I was raised, it was no such thing as a problem too big. We dealt with it.
Sure do.
But
Yeah.
when you have especially in the service, because of the cohesion, right, and
Hmm.
the different backgrounds, and everybody is different. It teaches you to come out of self and not put yourself first, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that was something that really helped me to say, hey, not downplay people problems, right?
Hmm.
And just because it's not big to me, it's huge to them.
Yeah.
And just that one thing right there completely changed me forever, really, and it helped me be a more effective leader.
Hmm.
It helped me, grow, and that's we're talking about professionally and personally.
Yeah, yeah. No doubt.
So that was kind of like that journey right there alone was all worthwhile.
That's what's up, man. So, while in the military, what do you think is the best piece of advice that you received from somebody for you?
Let's say the best piece of advice I received. Mm, I would say my very first chief,
Hmm.
my very first chief in the Navy, and because I was one of those, like I told you, my first year was my worst year,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And um, but he was kind of like, I won't say I was an Antoine Fisher story, but I was
Yeah, yeah.
close.
I can dig it. Yep, yep. So
Right,
he
but I
must have
was
been your
close.
Denzel. No
But
doubt.
I was close. But some of the advice that he gave me, really is I owe, the reason I'm still active duty today.
Hmm.
And he used to always tell me, the Navy is not for everybody, but while you here, you know, what you make out of it. And always, rather you do 4 years or rather you do 30 years, never close a door and shut down and be like, hey, I'm just gonna do 4 years, so I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna go through the motions, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah, yeah.
So, and advice he gave me, if you're gonna do it, commit to it. And
Hmm.
at the end of the day, if you choose to get out or you choose to stay in, guess what? The future's still gonna be bright for you because you committed to it. So that was kind of how he steered me, and I
Yeah,
lived
yeah.
by that. So I'm forever indebted to him.
Yeah, that's an awesome piece of advice, man. So would you
Mhm.
consider him like a mentor, or do you have any
Oh,
mentors while you're in
definitely.
the military?
Oh, definitely. I still talk to him to this day. He'll
You
reach
want to
out,
give him
he'll
a,
check on me on
I was
Facebook.
gonna say you want to give him a
But
shout out?
oh yeah, retired GMC Master Chief Asian.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
that's what's up.
love you, man, love you.
No
But
doubt,
he
no
used to.
doubt.
I still remember I was a young sailor.
Hmm.
I probably was one of the youngest sailor in the division at the time, and we was having a uniform inspection, and he asked me to inspect his uniform. So
Hmm.
I'm looking like, man, I don't know how to inspect a chief uniform. So and and I still remember to this day. He's like, hey, you got a warrant officer right there on the side of him. Ask him to help you out.
Hmm.
And just me just seeing the chief. That was my very first time being that close to the chief's
Yeah,
uniform,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's not that bad.
Yeah, no doubt. All the bars was like, yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm like, it's not that bad, but it was very inspiring, nevertheless, though. But forever indebted, man. He was a great chief. I'm glad he did 30, retired as a master chief,
Hmm.
and you know, and for his rate, for that community, the master chiefs are like unicorns.
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
for him to achieve it in that community, it speaks a lot about, his leadership and his professionalism too.
That's what's up, man. So, basically, you collected a lot of knowledge over the years, man, and you've been put in various leadership positions and roles. What kind of advice do you have to give somebody that's thinking about joining the military or just join the military, whether it be Navy, whatever branch? You're like, I know you got some jewels to drop, man. Go ahead.
I would say joining, if there's anybody out there looking to join any branch,
Hmm.
I would say you need to really just look into what branch you think will best fit you. I would definitely not go kind of like your story. I won't just go with because my father was Navy or,
Hmm.
Air Force. You feel like the Air Force. I would look into every single branch first and see, which one you think will fit you best and
Hmm.
what your career path is. Because I'm a firm believer, if you do what you love, you can't consider that as work, right?
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
yeah, so with me, the military right now is probably still one of the only careers where you can retire after 20 years of service.
Hmm.
Everywhere else is 31 years, 33 years, 35 years, a lot of
Hmm.
crazy numbers there.
Definitely.
Um, so, I could have retired, when I was 40 years old, right at 39, 40 years old. So, and you see it now. I got a buddy, he retired
Hmm.
from the Navy and he was 38. He
Yeah,
came in
yeah,
he came in at 18, he was 38 and retired.
yeah. Got a
But
pension for
say
the
for
rest
a
of his
lot of
life. Yeah.
for a lot of young people, especially me coming in, I'm gonna tell you what, I never looked in. We never look down the road and see what it's gonna be like 20 years from now. We live for the
Hmm.
moment.
Yep.
So the best advice I can give you is, you know, everything is a stepping stone to what it is you're trying to achieve. So setting those goals, whether it's retirement, whether it's education,
Yeah.
the Navy. You a lot of people say, "Hey, I want to go to school." The
Hmm.
Navy. You can go to school while you're in the Navy.
Yeah.
Or whatever branch it is. You can go. You can get that school in there and start that education if that's your field. And then we don't look at the different things that you learn from being in the Navy too, because it definitely raise you, definitely
Hmm.
mature you. And a lot of I got sailors now, man, that's 18, 19 years old. I'd be like, wow, just scratch my head sometime.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for them coming in, I really embrace it because they're so young.
Hmm.
They're young adults. I don't look at them as children, but they're young adults. And the things that were not told to me coming through the ranks, I make it my job to make sure that they get it.
Most definitely.
So hopefully they choose it as a career, but it's definitely you have to look at the longevity of that
Hmm.
career field. And I would say that the military is definitely, one that you can be successful in. It's one that can actually, even if it's just to get you started, because a lot of people coming out of high school don't know what they want to do.
Yeah.
So even if it's just something to get you started and you get an idea if you want to travel, or
Hmm.
rather you for like education, or rather it's you just want to experience a different experience or something different.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not a bad choice.
That's what's up, man. So basically, kind of closing out a little bit, but just out of curiosity, what's next for you, bro?
Right now I'm looking to I'm not looking to shut down right now.
Okay.
So I'm up for senior chief this year, so hopefully I pick up.
No doubt.
If I don't, I'm gonna keep working until I do pick up. But I'm looking to definitely probably continue my career to probably 26 years, and I'll probably retire from there.
Okay.
And I want to get into trucking though. I want to travel now, so I want to
Yeah,
get
no
into
doubt.
trucking, probably 18 wheelers,
Hmm.
and I want to be closer back to Houston, because
Hmm.
I got a big family. I got a big family down there, and they be trying to. Oh man, they be trying to get me out the Navy so bad. Like, when you coming home? When you coming
Yeah,
home?
yeah, yeah.
Hey man, I visit home. That's good enough.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
but yeah, just definitely traveling, getting into. I want to get into the trucking field a little bit
Hmm.
and see how that is. So that's what I'm leaning towards. So once I go shore duty, and a lot of people don't know this. So once you go shore duty, you can go school, and the Navy pay for
Hmm.
truck, your CDL, your training and stuff like that. So
Oh, that's what's up.
it's a lot of benefits in it, and that's what I'm gonna do when I go shore duty. Just try to work that portion of it, so to set myself up when it's time for me to just go ahead and call it quits, hang up my boots, so to speak.
No doubt, no doubt. Man, I definitely appreciate you coming out, man, and spending some time with us and explaining, kind of details of your life. And I definitely want to wish you a safe deployment, man, and make sure you take care of yourself, bro. We want to see you come back. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're gonna be here waiting on you, man, and all that, man. And as a gift for being on the show, one of our sponsors, they're gonna make sure we're gonna send you out something from them. It's called American Trigger Pullers. AmericanTriggerPullers.com. I'm gonna put the link in the description. I got your information. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get something out to you. So I
Oh
definitely
yeah,
appreciate,
definitely.
man. I definitely
Oh,
appreciate you,
thank you
man.
for having. Thank you for having me now.
Oh, most definitely, bro. And also, like, so, being former military myself, and you being current military, we use acronyms a lot. And I have an acronym that I like to use on this show that I try to close it out with all the time, and that's HOPS. And that means I want people to train hard, train often, train properly, and train safely. Peace.
Luke, I like it. I like it.
All right.